So welcome back to the channel. Today, just off to the shop. So we're still at Normanhurst Court Caravan Club, Caravan and Motorhome Club site in East Sussex. So I'm just off to the shops to get some barbecue stuff, as it looks like the weather's going to be quite good. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a feel of what it's like being on a campsite now that they're open after lockdown.
It's alright.
It's Caravan Club.
This is quality caravan vlogging. So the biggest difference is the toilets, the way the toilets work. So most sites, this site especially, work on a band system. So some sites you get given a band, and on this site, bands are in a pot outside the toilet, and if there is a band available, you can take the band and use the toilet, which works well. They sit in the disinfectant solution, which seems to be working well. Although, having said that, we've used our on caravan facilities, so the shower and toilet, the whole week. We're here for another week, and we will continue to do that. So what I've noticed, we don't usually use our facility. Well, in fact, we've never really used the shower. That's we've always used facilities. Now we go caravan club sites mainly because they've got good facilities. Although this could change things. So now we've been using the facilities, the shower. I noticed a couple of things. Obviously, you use more water, so I've been going to and fro the service station area more than I normally would. I've also used our internal tank. We've got an internal tank, freshwater tank. So basically you get 80 litres with the Aquaroll and the internal tank. I think it's 40 litres. So that's been okay. I've got another video coming out about that. I might have already released it. If I have released it, there's a link. If not, I'll kind of discuss how I use the tank. Now, another subject. People's behaviour on site. Now, we come here on Saturday, which was basically the 4th of July, which was the first day that sites were open. So we were all a bit edgy and didn't know how it was going to work. So we had to select our pitch before we came. Now, where the pitch we were, there was a caravan either side and one opposite, and they were in a group together. And a motorhome further down. So they was there for 3 nights, and each day, so they spent pretty much the whole day together outside the caravan that was next to us, up to probably 15 or more people. Now, we weren't really happy with this, so we spoke to the warden, and apparently the people said they were in the same bubble together, so there's nothing they could do, which wasn't ideal. Now, they were quite considerate, and their music wasn't overly loud, although from 1 in the afternoon till 10, they finished at about 10 at night. We got the constant boom, boom, boom of somebody playing music louder than you would if it was just for your ears. So this site is reasonably nice. It is a nice site, but I would have to say, and it is the reason we picked this site, is because there's not a great deal to do down here. I mean, Hastings is maybe 15 minutes away, which is okay. I'm speaking to some neighbours just then. Apparently it was rammed, the pubs were rammed last night, which would have been Saturday night. So much so that the guy felt obliged to call the police and say, look, apparently it was a pub they knew about. And there was just apparently, what's this guy doing? Get out of the road. Psycho. So we came here because it was quiet, and so we can't complain it's too quiet. We haven't really been out. We've been in the caravan pretty much every day. We've had the odd trip out. Tomorrow we're going to a National Trust property, and if you want to book a National Trust, if you want to go to a National Trust property, they are book only. So you can't just turn up as you would previously. You have to book before, and if you don't book, you will be turned away. Car park's be empty. I hope it's open. I didn't check before whether it's open on a Sunday. My guess now is that it isn't. got a horrible feeling this supermarket might be closed. Doesn't look very open. It's either closed or I'm the only person here. Stupidly, I should have checked whether the supermarket was open on a Sunday, and it isn't, of course. So I'll have to try and find somewhere else now for our barbecue food. So I've managed to find a Tesco Express, which is reasonably near. Now, I've been to Tesco's Express before, and it was okay. It was a reasonably big one. It's not one that's on a petrol station. So you'd have seen from my previous vlog that the weather was quite windy at Hastings when we were on the pier. Well, it's much better now. It's sort of low 20s, and I think it's going to continue for the rest of the week. We had planned that if the weather got bad, then we'd just come home early. I think Tuesday is meant to be a bit rough, but other than that, heating up for the rest of the week into next weekend, which when we're coming home. So I have noticed that I think not a lot's really open. Certainly earlier in the week when we were at Hastings, there was nothing open, maybe a coffee shop, and that's pretty much it. And I think now we're in Battle. I'm just driving through Battle now, and again, not a lot of people. There's a cop there. Not a lot of people, and not everything is open. We looked at going into the Abbey at Battlefield, which is just to my right here. I don't know if you can see the wall. But it's really expensive. It's about £16 each. Then you've got parking, and it's basically ruins. Now, an interesting fact is that the field, if you park next to the Abbey there at Battle, there is a parking space, £4. And if you walk down to the road down to a field, there's a sign saying that in this field played a part of the Battle of Hastings. So there you go, living history. More history, stop it. If I carry on with these facts, I'm going to be like next stop everywhere. If you don't subscribe to their channel, find them on YouTube. Here's the Tesco Express. That was quite close. So because I couldn't go to the original shop I wanted to go to, I've absolutely forgotten everything I needed. So I just picked some stuff up randomly. I don't like this post-lockdown shopping stuff. Anyway, I went to the cash point, and that's the first time I've got cash out of a machine since before March. Well, since early March. Wow. Anyway, back to the campsite now. Gonna have a bit of a barbecue. I managed to get some barbecue stuff. Mandy specifically wanted chicken that we got from the supermarket I was just at that was shut. So I've had to get something else. And it's always risky when you just wing it. I don't know. Actually, a quick mention, there's something we bought before we came away was a Wi-Fi fixed antenna and from Solwise. I can't remember the exact model, but it has worked quite well on site. A couple of people beside us have been moaning that they haven't been able to get any Wi-Fi signal, even from the Caravan Club Wi-Fi signal. But we've been alright, although it's not really been good enough to stream the football. So I've been watching football via 4G. But it's Solwise. I'll put the model number down here. Now, Rich from Legs Down Caravan, and he's done a review on this, so I'll put a link to that in the description as well. But that's one of the reasons I bought this unit. Now, the review is from a couple of years ago, but it doesn't seem that the device has changed at all. So it's just an antenna, so a little aerial that use sucky pads to suck on the side of the caravan, cable in through the window into, well, I'd call it a modem, so a little box, a USB box. That itself connects to the Wi-Fi, and you then connect to that. Now, what it does mean is that you could, where normally you'd only be able to use one device, you could use, well, we use 4 or 5 devices off the same Wi-Fi access point, which is good. Now, one of the reasons we did get it is because there's a few sites in France. I'm sorry I mentioned France, I'll mention the Jockey Wheel as well if you're not careful. So there's a few sites in France where Wi-Fi signal wasn't good enough. So I think this device is about £100. So I think well worth it. What I'm also looking at getting is something to boost 4G signal, because it doesn't matter where you are in this country. Sorry, I'm not really UK bashing here, but you don't always get the best 4G signal. Now, I think Gadget John, I don't know if you watch his YouTube channel, but he's done a review on the stuff he uses. Now, he's pretty extreme in his requirements. Although, if you're going to go all over Europe touring, then I think what he uses is, I mean, it's basically an antenna from a ship, I believe, and that picks up 4G from just about everywhere. And a little Netgear modem thing, which I'm going to look at as well. Anyway, so I'm just about back to the site now. I don't know if I'll end the video here. I might tag some other stuff on the end, but if it is the end of the video, thanks very much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. The sun's out, barbecue time. I've even got some wine. Oh, and for those motorhome, those that follow me, motorhomers, I still haven't drunk that small bottle of gin. Honestly, it's a glass full of gin that I've had for probably a year. Cider and wine is just, why drink gin? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching.
It's all